Okay, so I know what you're probably thinking. Sticky, this not prediction video. What you doing, Tubby? Well, see, the thing is, I've been busy these past 2 days helping Bill O'Brien move out, but but I have been busy, so I didn't have time to plan or record a prediction video. So this video is just me giving my thoughts on the whole J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson press conference that they had today. And initially, I was gonna make a video about is the Texans season over, but I started planning it out, and I was like, you know what? We cannot say yet because we have no idea what this team's gonna look like with Romeo Crennel as the head coach, with Tim Kelly legitimately finally calling the shots 100% now, like all him unleashing the playbook, Deshaun Watson's words. So I thought, you know what, doesn't make sense yet. We'll push that off for maybe next week. Wait to see what they look like against Jacksonville. Some people are gonna ask me, Sticky, what about a head coaching candidates video? And those are definitely in the works. Yes, I said those because there's a bunch of head coaching candidates, both good and bad. So I will be going over all that in the coming weeks. So yeah, it's gonna be a busy couple of weeks for me here, with the Texans content. But I'm down for it, and I'm sure you guys are down for it too. Anyways, though, this Texans press conference, or these conferences, let me start off by saying this. Yesterday, I think it was around in the AM, but definitely early in the day, J.J. Watt tweeted out a picture of NRG Stadium from the inside, looking out with the roof open, with the sun shining. So that got people thinking, oh my god, J.J. Watt saying, there's clear days ahead type of thing, whatever. So people were speculating, that J.J. Watt was happy about the whole O'Brien firing situation. Now, obviously, after the Week 4 loss, J.J. Watt was pissed that the Texans were 0-4, and he said something has to change. Like in a very, mad, like he was pissed. And in my Bill O'Brien, I guess, firing reaction video, I said that I wouldn't be shocked if J.J. Watt was the one that went to Cal McNair and told him, hey man, he's got to go. And as it turns out, today, before the J.J. Watt press conference, it came out that apparently leading into that Steelers game, J.J. Watt got into a huge argument with Bill O'Brien. He called him a fatty. No, I don't know what was said. Nobody knows what was said. But apparently there was like a huge argument between J.J. Watt and Bill O'Brien. Apparently Bill O'Brien was also very angry at Anthony Weaver as well. So, I don't know, maybe Bill O'Brien was yelling at Weaver, and then J.J. Watt was like, no, stop it. But, yeah, apparently that happened, and when that happened, apparently J.J. Watt, in a way, led a revolt against Bill O'Brien. So, here it is. The Texans lost to the Vikings because O'Brien had already lost the locker room. If not, the Texans would have destroyed the Vikings because the Vikings did not match up well against the Texans. And in fact, when they played the Steelers, and keep in mind, they played them pretty decently. It was like a 7-point game? At that point, the locker room was already lost as well. So O'Brien was doing all this coaching, or he was trying to do all this coaching, but the players weren't really even caring about him. Everything they were doing out there for the past 2 weeks was on pure talent alone. The fact that they were able to keep up with Pittsburgh and Minnesota was off of pure talent alone. So, yeah, apparently, from the sounds of it, J.J. Watt got Bill O'Brien fired. And for that, you guys should be thanking him. J.J. Watt needs a statue. He needs a street named after him. He needs to be mayor of Houston. I mean, people already loved them some J.J. Watt. Now they're going to love him even more because he got O'Brien fired. Now, in the press conference, of course, J.J. Watt said all the right things. You know, like, he didn't throw Bill O'Brien under the bus or anything. He just pretty much said that he has to work harder. You know, the players are not the problem in a way. He said the players always go in there and work hard. He said that Romeo Cornell, you know, he's such a nice person to be around. He's had rings. So I guess that was kind of like a low-key shot at O'Brien saying that Romeo Cornell had rings, and he said Romeo Cornell is a good person to be around. I guess another shot at O'Brien as well. But J.J. Watt did say that O'Brien's always had the players' backs. So he said good stuff at the end of the press conference. But one thing that J.J. did say that really caught my attention was that he said they have to put Deshaun Watson in place to succeed. That's not exactly what he said, but that's what he was saying. I'm just going off the top of my head from what I remember. So he said they got to put Deshaun Watson in position to succeed because there is no way that a team with a quarterback like Deshaun Watson should be 0-4. And that is 100% true. You have a quarterback like Deshaun Watson, you got to put him in position to succeed so he can lead you to the promised land. And then J.J. Watt then went on to say that Deshaun Watson is the face of the franchise. He's the one that's going to lead this team to a Super Bowl. So, to me, that was kind of like the passing of the torch. J.J. Watt, he pretty much saved Deshaun Watson. We know Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is a nice dude. He is not going to go over there and get O'Brien fired. That's just not what he would do. It's not the type of dude he is. And honestly, it's not really the dude that J.J. Watt is either, but J.J. Watt probably saw around the league. He saw, well, Patrick Mahomes is doing all these things. Lamar Jackson is doing all these things. Hell, Josh Allen is doing some things up there in Buffalo. I don't know how in the world that's going on, but he probably saw all that and wondered, well, Deshaun Watson's every bit as good as those guys, if not better, especially, better than Lamar Jackson, better than Josh Allen. Why are we 0-4 and those teams are undefeated or 3-1, but we're over here 0-4? So he went over there to Cal and he got Bill O'Brien fired because O'Brien wasn't putting Deshaun Watson in place to succeed. Because Deshaun Watson's a talented quarterback. The Texans should be right there with those other teams. Right there with the Seattle Seahawks as well. Because when you have a talented quarterback like Deshaun Watson, there is absolutely no excuse why he should be 0-4. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got out of it. Pretty much J.J. Watt got Bill O'Brien fired for Deshaun Watson's sake to rescue Deshaun Watson. So once Deshaun Watson wins the Super Bowl for Houston, you can thank J.J. Watt, whether JJ's on the team or not, because keep in mind, JJ's, near the end of his career, as much as I hate to say it, that's where his career's headed now. So, J.J. Watt rescued Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson, same thing as JJ, he went in there and said all the right things. He didn't bash Bill O'Brien. He pretty much thanked O'Brien as well. He said that he's looking for that first win. He has to be a leader for this team. He wants stability in this franchise, which is, pretty important. Things we've all been saying. We can't have, we had 4 GMs, 3 GMs, in the span of 4 years. You can't have that. Everything's got to be on the same page. So, Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt are the two most powerful people in the Texans franchise. Because a lot of people said O'Brien would never ever get fired because he's the most powerful guy. And I always said that is BS. O'Brien is not the most powerful guy because at the end of the day, the Texans are a business whether you like it or not. And at the end of the day, money is what matters. And at the end of the day, fans didn't show up to watch Bill O'Brien. No one showed up to watch Bill O'Brien. Fans showed up to watch J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson and John Weeks. That's who they showed up to watch. They show up to watch the players. The money makers are the most powerful guys on the team. And the money makers are Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt is the face of Houston sports. Deshaun Watson is going to be the face of Houston sports here in a few years, if not maybe even this year, if the Texans somehow miraculously turn this whole thing around. Which, by the way, on Twitter, I did make a bet. If the Texans somehow find a way to make the playoffs this year, even as the 7th seed, I will do a face reveal. And I absolutely mean that, because I think this season's over. But hey, if they can prove me wrong, I will do a face reveal. Like, I am 100% with it. Like, I don't care what happens in the playoffs, because honestly, I don't think they'll be able to even make the playoffs. And if they do make the playoffs, I don't think anything's going to happen. So as long as they make the playoffs, even as a 7th seed, I will do a face reveal. Like, it's like, you could screenshot it, save the video, whatever. But yeah, I 100% mean that. Now, in terms of Romeo Crennel, like, obviously both Deshaun and JJ said some very good things about Romeo Crennel. I will say this about Romeo Crennel as well. Now, as a coach, as a head coach in the NFL, he hasn't had much success. But I will say this as well. The Chiefs, at one point, when they had Crennel as their head coach, Crennel started off as the interim head coach, and the Chiefs were doing bad, and Romeo Crennel turned their season around, and they started racking up wins, and then Crennel got hired the next year as, like, their head coach. Now, I'm not saying the Texans will make Crennel their next head coach. Crennel's like, 73 years old. He is done. He was retired before Bill O'Brien went to go get him. So Crennel will not be the Texans' next head coach. For all you people that are asking, no, that is not going to happen. Crennel is done in the NFL after this season. Now, can Crennel maybe lead this team to the playoffs? I'm not going to say no, because this team is extremely talented. So it is possible. So I'm not like putting it out of the realm of possibility that they're not going to make the playoffs, because they absolutely can. But the chances of that happening are extremely unlikely, but you never know in this league. Like, hey, they're saying the Titans might be forced to forfeit a bunch of games, so because they're a nasty organization that doesn't know how to handle COVID and wash their hands and stuff. So who knows what's going to happen with them, and if something happens to them, it could end up benefiting the Texans, and there's 7 playoff spots now, so maybe they end up sneaking in as a 7th seed. Like, you just don't know, like, with this season. Like, so many crazy things are happening right now, and the important thing is for the players that Bill O'Brien is gone, and I believe it was JJ Watt that said it. The players just want to go out there and have fun and not worry about I guess O'Brien being mean, because apparently he's been mean to a lot of people this year. Like, apparently he had issues with the doctors, he had issues with the equipment staff. So yeah, apparently things weren't pretty in there, and that's why O'Brien lost the locker room. Anyways, though, that's all I really have for you guys for today. I think JJ got O'Brien fired for the sake of Deshaun Watson, and we should all be thankful for that. Anyways, though, like I said, that's all I have for you guys for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.